it's interesting for me to think about the challenge that you just said of, okay, so I have, I'm a Napa winemaker. Weather's predictable.
Right.
Okay, so you've taken one giant big variable out of the equation of what you're choosing to do, where you think the grape's going. Our name's All About the Grape. It is all about the grape.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, the grape's a lot dependent on what's happening with the weather.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. I mean, it is all about the grape, but remember that somebody has to do something with it before it ends up like that.
I maybe shouldn't have said that to the winemaker.
No. Actually, I've been on that boat for a long time. 80% of it happens out in the vineyard. But what I guess I'm speaking to is a trend now to act like we don't exist at all.
No.
Because we're going green and it's all about nature.
No, actually, you know what Michael said this morning? He said, which I totally buy into, he said, I can make good wine out of mediocre to even not so good fruit. I can't make great wine out of it. I gotta have...
You can make something drinkable.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, I can make good wine. He said, I can't make great wine. He said, to make great wine, I have to have good fruit.
Well, the saying in the industry is that you can't make good wine out of bad grapes, but you can make bad wine out of good grapes.
Oh, right, exactly, right.
So
not hard to do, probably.
Yeah, well, the hardest thing I think for most winemakers to do, especially people with ADHD and new to the industry, is to do nothing, to let the fruit do what it's going to do, and just babysit, basically.
Right.
I make certain choices about oak and yeast, and I watch the fermentations to make sure they're not having any problems, and I feed them if they need it, and monitor temperatures to make sure that the speed of the fermentation is controlled.
Right.
But beyond that, I don't tinker a whole lot. There are enzymes and tannins that need to be used to help it along, but if I don't need them, I don't use them. It's not a straight out of the recipe book kind of a deal, and it wouldn't be regardless of where I were making wine. But here you can't do that, because every season is different. So,
yeah. But I was starting that by saying, I'm sure that this region poses its own unique set of challenges.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's got to be totally different making wine here than making it somewhere else.
I came from Walla Walla before I came here, and I used to tell people, I grew up in the Willamette Valley. It's humid there. It's nothing like here, trust me. But it's humid there. My whole life I said I wanted to live somewhere dry, and I finally ended up in Walla Walla, and I was like, yes, it's dry. 115 degrees feels like 85 to me, and it did, too. I'd look at that thermometer and go, it can't be. No disease pressure, no pest pressure. If you don't have room in the winery this week, put a little water on that. We'll look at it next week.
Wow.
And then I came here. Every kind of rot, mold, and mildew known to mankind.
Right.
Weather that messes you up, too many nutrients, too much water. Varieties that would be difficult to grow even in the best of conditions. So,
Yeah, but you're still making great wine here.
Thanks. I'm trying.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll succeed on most occasions.